What was that? Is someone talking to me? Why is it that some people who report hearing voices end up in psychiatric institutions and others end up on TV? I worked for several years as a chaplain in psychiatric hospitals and also in community settings among people suffering from mental illness together with their families. The majority of the people that I worked with suffered from schizophrenia, and many of those would regularly hear voices alongside their other symptoms. There were those among the staff, nurses and psychiatrists, who were naturally suspicious of anyone who claimed to have a direct communication with God or with spirits. This could make life very difficult for someone working as a chaplain in this context, although I never claimed any such direct communication for myself. And yet there are plenty of people around who claim to hear God's or a God's voice, to be in direct communication with spirits or aliens or people who claim to channel some kind of being. Why are these people not mentally ill? Some would probably argue that they are. I would not. Misguided, almost certainly, if not actually fraudulent, but not mentally ill. Anyone who's worked closely with people with a serious mental illness knows that such a person has great difficulty functioning in their day to day life. When they're psychotic, they're in no condition to host a television show or run a business. What they say rarely makes any kind of sense. Those among us who claim to channel an alien intelligence or a great being from the past or some spirit from the sky, they may say unbelievable things, but they make sense. By that, I only mean that they're able to put words together to form sentences and to form coherent speech. I make no judgment about the worth or value of what they actually say. Which of these groups of people do you think, those with a mental illness, which generally destroys their life, or those who claim to channel a greater intelligence or to communicate with us on behalf of departed spirits, which of those represents the greater threat? We'll mostly ignore the psychotic ravings of someone who's seriously ill, but the words of someone who claims to have tapped into a greater wisdom can sometimes be seductive. I understand the temptation to believe, but I at least am more inclined to listen to someone who speaks with their own voice.